Hey guys, what's going on? It's your boy, the Mad Tiger, and up here today. I thought I'd do an update vlog. I just started by showing that I did actually get three PlayStation games that I've picked up over the last week or so. We've had a bit of luck this week, so we're alright, doing alright this week. I just thought I'd start off by saying I picked up Fallout 4. I know this is on PlayStation Plus, but I'm sure it was taken down. I don't know. Just wanted a physical version of it. This will be my next playthrough. Probably going to start it maybe later on this week. Possibly tomorrow morning. I don't know. I have played it before in the past on the Xbox. I did the Minutemen ending. I'm actually going to play through it again. I'm probably going to go with the Railroad ending. My friend's been playing a lot of this. So if you hear any noise in the background, it's my daughter. I can't really do much about that. I know it's going to take a while for me to get to the ending, but my mate's been playing a lot of it. He did the Brotherhood ending. I'm going to go with the Railroad ending. Yeah, I'm looking forward to replaying this game. But the good news is, if you own this game, they are doing a free upgrade later on this year. The date hasn't been confirmed, but there will be a free next-gen update, which I think is going to be pretty cool. So there will be a free upgrade, which next-gen, which obviously will increase graphics, all that stuff. I think they're planning on updating the community creation stuff. But there is talks about possibly a New Vegas DLC being added. That's speculation, but if that is the case, I think a lot of people will be happy with that. It's a really good game. I highly recommend it. £2 I paid for this. That is ridiculous for a game that has hundreds, thousands of hours worth of content in it. If you want a cheap game that's going to keep you going for a long time, Fallout 4, Skyrim, anything like that, definitely check it out. And I beat Gran Turismo 7. I did beat it, the main story quest. I'll talk a little bit more about it in a minute. But I did trade it in for 2 more games. I did a little trade, so I swapped it for Judgment on PS5. I think this might be on PlayStation Plus, but I figured, you know what? I love the Yakuza game. This is from the same creators of Yakuza, except you play as a detective. I know they did another one called Lost Judgment, which I thought was a remake of this one, but it isn't. That's the sequel to this game. But this includes all of the DLC and updated graphics, etc. This was originally a PS4 game. Highly recommend Yakuza games as well. They are a lot of fun. There is a lot of text and a lot of cutscenes in them, but it is an awesome game. And then I also picked up Tiny Tina Wonderlands. Judgment was 12, this was 18. I got 30 quid back, which I don't think was too bad, seeing how I paid, I think, 30 quid for Gran Turismo anyway. So I thought that was fair enough, you know, so I got my money back in the trade. Tiny Tina's Wonderland is basically Borderlands. It's not Borderlands 4. It's basically originally it was a DLC for Borderlands 2. It's like a Dungeons and Dragons inspired DLC, but then they made a full-on game of it. I've heard this is a really fun game, similar to like Borderlands, very over the top and crazy and stuff, but I've heard that it doesn't have the open world element, which a lot of people are a little bit annoyed on. But for a game like this, you know, I'm not too bothered. If you want an open world Borderlands game, just play any of the other Borderlands games. They're all open world, apart from Tales of the Borderlands, obviously. So they're what I got. It is payday tomorrow, so I'm possibly, I say payday, well, you know, we're going to get some money again. I'm taking my son to out on the Saturday, so I might hit up some of the game shops and CEX and things, so I have a little look. I'm trying this new Tropical Iron Brew Extra. It's actually really nice. It's quite nice, actually. Tastes a little bit like the fruit salad sweets. The fridge is once again stocked up. It's nice to have a stocked up house. Got some Coronas, which are actually weird. They come like this. I've never seen Coronas in a can. And some San Miguel's as well I picked up. I'll have some pizza soon. I'm going to pick my son up from school, come back and have a nice pizza. But yeah, so Gran Turismo 7, I had a good time with it. It was a lot more accessible than Gran Turismo 6 was. Yes, Gran Turismo 6 has triple the amount of cars that Gran Turismo 7 has. But Gran Turismo 7, the graphics were amazing, the gameplay was fun. It was a simulated racing experience, of course, but it didn't ever feel tough. It was challenging, but the most challenging parts were the actual challenges. The races, on the other hand, always seemed like, if you're playing on beginner, I'll be honest, I was playing on beginner, but that being said, if you want to play on the harder difficulties, the game's going to get more challenging, obviously, but I never once in the race, because it never said you have to win every single race, you have to win. As long as you get third on a lot of the races, that's good enough. And the same with the challenges, as long as you get a bronze, that's good enough. So you're going to progress. And obviously there's like 3 things that I would consider, what I would consider basically winning Gran Turismo would be. First of all is beating all the menu books. So there's 13 menu books, they're like your quests. So, you know, the quest could be collect 3 Mazda MX-5 cars or something like that, just in this example. And then you can unlock those cars by winning a race, or getting third in a race or whatever, or by actually just buying the car, you know, from the car salesman or used car salesman or whatever. So there's 39 of them, and then they've added a few extras, obviously, as the game come out. Although the extra ones are a little bit tougher, especially the K-Car Cup one. That one was, it makes me laugh because the final race is the GT Championship. So by then you're using cars that, you know, have nearly 800 power points, you know, Ferrari F512s and Porsche Carreras and GTs and GT Championship cars that have high power points, fast speed. And then the extra menu book you get after is using shitty K cars, you know, the little tiny Japanese city cars that have like top speeds of like 90 mile an hour. And that was more challenging than the actual fast races. It's crazy. So there's that. The collection side of things, obviously, every time you get a car, you get collector's points. So that's another thing that this game actually rewards you for, is actually collecting cars. So there is a reason to actually buy other cars, not just spend all your money on tuning up one car, you know. So there is that. And then the other side of the thing, the third sort of 100% would be doing all of your challenges, the missions, the licenses, getting gold, that sort of thing, and doing all the races at getting first in all of them. So there was a lot to go back to. The reason I did a trade is because I felt like I'd beaten the main story. I played it, I put at least 22, 21 hours into the game. PlayStation said 21, but it felt like more. But I think I'm just left it for now. I'll probably buy it back later on, you know. It is a game that I think I'll probably, if I get myself a Logitech racing steering wheel with the gear stick and the pedals, then I'd probably go buy it back, because that game would be perfect for that. And even with the VR as well, if I had the VR or the controller, then I'd probably buy it back, because even though I'm playing the same game, it is a completely different experience. And again, I had a good time with it. But now, moving on to Fallout 4, it's going to be a completely different experience, from racing cars to wandering around the wasteland. But I highly recommend Gran Turismo 7. And actually, if I'm going to be honest with you, if no one's ever played a Gran Turismo game before, I'd actually say Gran Turismo 7 is a perfect one to start with, because it's actually really... I say it's really easy. It's not really easy. It's very fair. It's very user accessible, beginner friendly, you know, and it's very quick in its progression. You never feel like you're spending hours and hours doing the same races over and over again to get money. In this one, it feels a lot quicker, a lot more rewarding. And that's what I like. I did actually get one more digital game that I forgot to mention. I got the Paris Desert Rally game. I think it's Paris Dakar Desert Rally, which I've heard mixed reviews for. I've heard some people say it's really good, some people say it's lacking in some areas, but I've always been a fan of rally, the Dakar Rally. I've always been a fan of that. I love motorsport and things like that. So that's what's on the gaming side of things. On the other side of things, watching. I've only really been watching Dashi gaming. I'm trying to keep up to date with him. What I've decided, instead of doing something different each night, I'm gonna because I have like a random wheel app with all of the different apps that I've got and stuff like that, like YouTube, Netflix, blah blah blah. What I've done is every time I spin it, if I land on like a TV show, for example, then I'll just go, right, I'm going to focus on watching this TV show over the next few nights. I tend to play video games sometimes in the morning, between my son going to school and getting back from school, coming back, if my partner does the school run, because sometimes my daughter's asleep and then she'll wake up about half an hour afterwards. Other times I will play games on the weekend. I don't really play them that much during the week at night, normally on the weekend. But then other nights it's normally like I said. So I don't know what the next watch will be. If I get like a movie, if I landed on like Netflix movie, for example, then I just spend a night watching 3 or 4 different Netflix movies, and so on. But one thing I will say about Netflix is they've actually added something that I think should have been added a long time ago, and it's not a TV show or thing. It's the fact that if you go into your list, you could now sort your list by TV show, movies, and you can set it by alphabetical, recently watched, currently watching, it's highly suggested. I'm like, okay, that is a small thing, but I love it when you can do A to Z. The only caveat is it's only on the mobile app. I've seen it. I haven't seen it on the TV app yet, but I imagine that will get done. That'll probably get done soon. And the only other thing is you can't actually do it with the browsing feature. I think the browsing feature is still a little bit... it is good if you're looking for stuff, but if you want to know everything that's on there, and just say you want an A to Z for all the action stuff, like Disney has that, Netflix doesn't have that, which kind of sucks. So, but they've done it. They've sort of made a little bit of a progression with that. So I'm glad in a way. And now the personal side of things. So I as you know, I have not a lot of issues, but my son has what we would consider to be like autism or something like that. I have it myself, so I see a lot of the signs in him, and it has affected his school life quite badly. But I went on a school trip with him on Monday, and I got on really well with not just him, but the other kids. And it got me thinking, one of the problems we're having with the school is that they can't actually find an actual assistant that can be with him all day. Basically, they've only got someone that can be with him in the early hours of the morning. So yeah, because they don't have someone that can be with him at all times, what I've sort of decided that I'm going to try and do is go on a teaching assistance course. I've got the initial, I say interview type thing set for next month. So I'm going to go ahead and try and do it and do that with the intention. The main intention would be obviously to go on, even if it was voluntary thing for my son's school, to be with my son and help him. But if you've got the qualifications as well, there's a chance that it could go on to a job and that. I thought about it practically, on the practical side of things. Yes, it's a job, it's money, it's getting out, which is great, experience, and it was quite nice, being around all the other kids and sort of seeing how they interact, and even for someone that obviously I've probably not even seen properly before. It was really nice. It's hard with my son because he doesn't have the communication skills that, say, other kids might have, which is fine. Every kid is different, especially when they've got, learning difficulties and that. So I'm just trying to cover all bases, and I think doing this I think will be really helpful for not just him, but for myself as well. So I'm already on a course at the moment anyway that I've been doing to do with positive foundations, which basically teaches you just how to deal with things in a positive manner, and how to deal with kids in certain situations, and just generalized sort of course, which is really helpful, and I highly recommend it. You know, a lot of people said that. I know it sounds, this is kind of a stupid one, but someone in the course mentioned, they said, I think all new parents should be made to go on a course like what we're doing. And to be honest, I kind of agree, because again, being a parent isn't easy, and we all make mistakes, and you know, but obviously in the long run, if you do something in the what they would consider the wrong way, it's only going to make things harder in the long run. So that is I thought that was a good little statement, and I agree with it, to be honest. But again, you know, that's just personal opinion, you know. But again, I think it would be good for myself. It would be good for me, you know. My mum always used to say to me that you're really good with kids around about that age, you know, from 5 to like 8. So like reception to year 1, maybe a little bit younger. But when they're babies, I'm not as great with them. I'll admit that. You know, I was the same with my son. I wasn't great with him. I'm still struggling a little bit with my daughter. But as they get older, I tend to interact more with them. Maybe it's because I'm childish in my own way, you know, because I like all the cartoons and stuff like that anyway. But I asked her for feedback from the teacher how I got on, and she said, you know, you interacted really well with the kids, and you were very knowledgeable of just things, you know, when you're walking around like a wooded playground type area, wooded area, and there's lakes and birds and plants, and they're always asking you, what is this plant, what is that on the lake, and I can sort of tell them what it is. That sort of thing that they pick up on, and they go, wow, that's really good, you know, that you're basically visual learning. And that's what my son really you know. I think the problem is with mainstream schools, I find, is that you can only teach kids so much in a classroom. You know, getting a kid behind a desk and saying, write this down, write this down, write this down, that's fine. But unless you actually take them out and show them the world, and give them visual learning, even with me, you know, if you were to sort of say to me, right, I want you to go and make go and make I don't know, like chicken fajitas, for example, I said this is what you do, I probably wouldn't know. I'd mess up and I'd ask what's going on. But if you showed me first how to do it, I'd be able to do it every single time after then. That's how it is for me, you know. So but anyway, I'm going to leave it there because I've got to go and pick my son up now, so I will leave it there. Thanks for watching, guys. If you enjoyed it, leave a like, and of course comment below, and I will see you in the next video, and hopefully might have a pickup video this Saturday. Thanks for watching.